Liz Cheney, the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, who served under George W. Bush, is widely expected to pay the ultimate price for going against Donald Trump and for refusing to temper that criticism, despite poll numbers showing her losing handily to a Trump-backed candidate.
America cannot remain free if we abandon the truth. The lie that the 2020 presidential election was stolen is insidious. It preys on those who love their country. It is a door Donald Trump opened to manipulate Americans to abandon their principles, to sacrifice their freedom, to justify violence, to ignore the rulings of our courts and the rule of law.
It's that kind of messaging that has seen her become a leading voice on the January 6th committee against her party's wishes in prosecuting the case against those viewed as responsible for the attack on the Capitol.
Only one thing was succeeding on the afternoon of January 6th. Only one thing was achieving President Trump's goal. The angry, armed mob President Trump sent to the Capitol broke through security, invaded the Capitol, and forced the vote counting to stop. That mob was violent and destructive, and many came armed.
A stance and posture that earned her the ire of the former president, who has made it his mission to force her out.
You have people that look at this Liz Cheney. Is she unhinged? Let's use the word unhinged, a horrible word that they like to use a lot of times, but I watched her the other day. And by the way, I think she's 35 points down. The great state of Wyoming is great. They get her. They've understood her for a long time.
Despite his legal woes, including investigations into allegations of his mishandling of highly classified materials, Trump remains a force in the GOP, as many of his detractors within the Republican Party are finding out.
Trump's position is still strong within the Republican Party. I think one indication of that is how many Republicans rushed to Trump's defense after the news of the raid broke, even though we really don't know what the raid was necessarily about. There are some little indications here and there. There's a lot of unanswered questions, and yet a lot of Republicans are unambiguously saying that this is a witch hunt, this is all political. And so part of what sustains Trump within the Republican Party is that party elites are generally afraid to confront him on things. Now, I also think that they're afraid of Trump, but I think they're also afraid of their own voters who continue to hold Trump in high esteem.
Of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump, 7 have either been defeated in primary races or chose not to run again at all. Only 2 Republican incumbents who voted to impeach Trump have survived their primary elections, and Liz Cheney now becomes the last one whose fate will be sealed soon after polls close in the state of Wyoming. And while her current election prospects appear poor, she's not ruled out mounting a presidential bid for 2024 just as the legal scrutiny around the former president intensifies. The Justice Department on Monday pushing back at efforts to have the affidavit used to justify the search warrant of Trump's private residence made public, arguing it needed to remain sealed to protect the integrity of the ongoing investigation, including highly sensitive information about witnesses. A matter likely only to fuel angry Trump supporters in Wyoming tonight. Shervin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.